Rain hammered against the roof, each drop like a tiny fist. It was a Tuesday, the gloomiest Tuesday I could remember. I was bored, utterly, completely, mind-numbingly bored. That's when I decided to explore the one place in our house that was always off limits: the attic. Mom always said it was too dusty, too full of junk. But I knew the real reason. It was creepy up there. A pull cord dangled from the ceiling in the hallway, and as I tugged it, a rickety ladder unfolded with a groan. Taking a deep breath, I started to climb, the old wood creaking under my sneakers, each step echoing in the silent house. The air in the attic was thick and smelled like old paper and forgotten memories. Cobwebs hung from the rafters like ghostly decorations, and dust motes danced in the single beam of light from a grimy round window. I tiptoed around stacks of old boxes and furniture draped in white sheets, making them look like lumpy ghosts. My heart was thumping a little faster now. This was way better than watching TV. I felt like an explorer discovering a lost world. Every shadow seemed to hold a secret, and every creak of the floorboards made me jump. I wasn't scared, just excited. The kind of excitement that makes the hairs on your arm stand up. I pushed aside a heavy moth-eaten curtain, and that's when I saw it. Leaning against the far wall, behind a broken rocking horse, was a painting. It wasn't like the boring flower paintings my grandma had. This one was different. It was dark, and it pulled me closer. The frame was made of a dark, twisted wood, and the canvas was old and cracked. It showed a figure, tall and shadowy, standing under a gnarled old tree. You couldn't see its face clearly, it was just a blur of smoke and shadows, but its eyes, they seemed to glow. They were just two pinpricks of light, but they stared right at me. A shiver, a real bone-rattling shiver, crawled down my spine. I couldn't look away. It felt like the figure in the painting was watching me, really me. Who was this person? Or was it even a person? It had long, thin fingers and seemed to be made of twilight itself. I reached out a trembling hand, my fingers hovering just above the canvas. The air around the painting felt cold, strangely cold. I knew right then, standing in that dusty, silent attic, that this wasn't just an old painting, it was a secret, and I was going to be the one to figure it out. The next morning, the sun was out, but the image of the painting was burned into my mind. I couldn't shake the feeling of those glowing eyes. At breakfast, I tried to ask my dad about it. "Dad," I said, pushing my cereal around the bowl, "did we ever have any famous artists in our family?" He just laughed, ruffling my hair. "Not that I know of, Leo. We're more of a good-at-fixing lawnmowers kind of family." His answer didn't help. The painting wasn't just art, it felt important. It was a puzzle, and I had found the first piece. I knew I couldn't just leave it alone in the attic. My mission began after school. I decided to start with Mr. Abernathy, who ran the old